Did you look at that?
Hey,
We did it.
Happened?
we got it.
Oh,
All
yeah.
We did
right.
it.
Hey,
It worked.
Did we learn how to internet?
I think so.
Yet again.
We'll see.
Not bad.
All right. Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. We are the Casual Ones. If you're new here, welcome. We're a group of nerds who like to play and stream TTRPGs, as well as geeking out and then streaming that. We have a bunch of things in the works, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later at the end of the stream, because you'll definitely want to keep an eye out for everything that's going on. But if you've been with us for a while, welcome back, and it's great to have you again. I'm a little new here. My name is Rowan, and I'm a fairly new face of the group, which you may have actually seen me in Ray's cyberpunk game, Bleed for Speed, which was last Thursday. And I've been a little bit more of a background, but jumping in here to DM for the first time streaming, actually.
Give us a very nice, chipper new campaign, right?
Yes, I probably should tone it down a little bit. And be like, hey,
No, I love
everybody.
that. I love it.
It is the good news campaign. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, speaking to that, I'm here today to run Welcome to Onshire, which is a new short homebrew campaign, which we're hopefully going to be running up until Halloween, unless these folks really just wallop all my bad guys, which would be, so it'll be a much shorter campaign.
We all just die in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make sure it doesn't happen.
That's like dying in the tutorial.
Yeah,
It can happen, but you start again, so it's okay.
It's true.
I did press jump. I did.
Yeah, we'll have an episode 1B tomorrow.
But I'm joined here today. We have Lesley, who's right beside me, and Aaron beside her. We got Ray and Rebekah. Last but not least.
Directions are
There we
hard.
go. Okay, that's gonna be a big part of this campaign, so make sure that you know.
I know. We got to know our webcam cardinal directions.
Yeah, but to give a little bit of brief context, if you've been watching our social media, Welcome to Onshire is going to be a little bit of a dark, creepy campaign, somewhat similar to what we ran. Welcome to Valachan.
Valachan.
The Trials of the Hearts.
Trials of the Heart with Valachan. And so this will also be using the D&D 5e rule set and set sort of within Faerun for anyone who's intrigued by that. But this is something that I've come up with within that world, and these guys were lucky enough to try it out and see how it goes. We're thinking any sort of Witcher type. I don't know how. Actually, I'm not allowed to say IPs. I don't know how. So
I think you can say it.
I think you can say it.
Inspiration, inspired by the Witchers and Bloodborne type feel to it. Yeah. And with that, with that really long
Catch that
intro.
vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, welcome, adventurers. You've been traveling along the King's Path for nearly a week now. Having completed your most recent adventure, set off to larger cities looking for more glory, riches, or more people to help, as the case may be. As you have yet to unlock fast travel, being only level 5, you casually look into the dense underbrush, and let your minds wander back to experiences you've had. Making your way south, you've been able to count on the appearance of small villages to hole up in during the evenings, and about a day and a half's travel between each. As twilight nears and the shadow of the looming trees begins to stretch out towards you, there's a path to your left. Low on food and more than a little sore from walking, this looks like the next option for you. I would like to take this moment, if everyone's interested, looking among your group. What do we see? Actually, let's introduce Lesley. Do you want to go into what the name of your character, who they are, what they look like?
Yeah. I am Yllara Selby. I look like I'm about maybe 19, 20 human years old. I am half elf, so I got those pointy ears, but I like to hide them. I've got long auburnish hair and light brown eyes.
Awesome. I think from there we go to Ray.
Yeah. So I am Corax Hvit, a Kenku, roughly 40 or so human years, kind of gruff and tattered looking, uh, wearing a cape over top of a large overcoat, carrying a very large hammer that seems to be wrapped in burlap. Very tall, probably over 6 feet, about 6.5 feet, and looks to be strong, although very road worn.
Hmm. Creepy hammer. I like it. Aaron, what do you got for us?
My character is Morten Turngrave. They are a human. Did we do classes? Did you guys see your classes? Are we doing that? No, they are a
No.
human, and they are wearing a bit of armor wrapped with darker robes over top of it, and a bit of a formal wear with a little bit of like a priest-like vibe to them.
Hmm.
And they carry with them a larger shield and a dark flail that hangs at their side. That's me.
Excellent. And that will actually be it at the moment, because that is your crew. This is who you're used to traveling with. You guys have been together for a few months now, at least, having found something in common with each other, even though usually you will be somewhat, lone wolves potentially. These individuals have you've found a common interest and have decided to travel together, as that is usually safer. Now, as the path takes you up into the hills, which you'll see as you're walking along, you have to your left is a giant mountain range, and to your right is the sea, and the path is actually taking you up into the hills, which form the base of the foreboding mountain range. Darkness starts to settle in as you continue walking along the quiet forest. You can see dim light coming up ahead after about approximately 20 minutes walking this path, which is a little long, but what's another 20 minutes for a few weeks travel? Is there anything that do you think you guys would be quietly walking along, or is this you guys more of a chatty group?
Like at this point of the night, getting close, after a long day of marching, Corax is not particularly talkative and just kind of like points a finger to the distance, like finally a stop.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely be like, if it's been a long travel like that, trying like keeping the shoulders squared and be professional looking at all times, that's faded away. You can hear the boots kind of clunking now.
Dragging.
Yeah, just a little dragging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely interested in just like getting off the road.
You can see actually with this, as Corax points forward, there's this leftover sign welcoming you to the town, but looking at the sign, it is cracked and worn and actually seems to be snapped in places, but you see written along the right edge, Onshire. And if you the just sort of a quiet town, you don't see many lights beyond just a few sporadic.
But it doesn't look
ones.
abandoned at like a first
Doesn't
glance.
look abandoned from here, no.
Okay.
You guys, I don't know if we're gonna find anything else.
At this point, it doesn't matter, but I don't recall ever even hearing of this town before.
No.
Yeah, it looked like something maybe happened here once.
Yeah, maybe still struggling.
Is there anything else that I can make out with my like sharp eyes from this distance?
Definitely, if you give me a perception check. First
Happily.
roll, make it good.
Definitely. No pressure. No pressure. 24.
Ooh, all right, yeah. So that is actually, incredibly good. You can see that the little bit of torchlight that is sort of spilling forward. This, from your perspective, this looks to be a somewhat well-to-do town. Like these are taller buildings. They seem to be fairly well crafted, and you can tell that. I mean, anyways, from this perspective, it is a larger town that does go up a little bit further northeast and seems to sort of follow along the edge of the mountain. So it's beyond what you can see. You can see about 20 houses, but beyond that, you do know that there is more to this this village.
Seems that most of the money in this town goes towards housing as opposed to actually, keeping track of the sign quality here.
Makes sense.
That's okay. It makes sense that this town would be this large, though, this close to the water.
It's been a long travel. Haven't seen anything in between. It's a good spot.
Any bed is a good bed.
Yeah. I'm going to
With
start
that,
just trudging forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Get up there.
As you walk forward, you're surrounded on both sides by the dense woodland that's here before giving way to the mountainside, and stark white buildings lining the main thoroughfare of Onshire. As you walk in, you can see cobblestone and these tall buildings that Corax had pointed out to you, which would indicate that this has been a town that has seen quite a bit of growth, and to require having sort of taller, skinnier buildings to fit everyone. And as you watch the pathway leading up and away from you, the buildings seem to bend at odd angles, almost. You just upon walking and almost passing over into Onshire, they just almost seem to reach over and overtake the street in some sort of non-Euclidean aspect, and nothing's moving per se, but it's just like it's this moment where everyone kind of takes a breath and okay, maybe shake it off to watch the buildings come back.
I think I'm a little tired.
The facades reflect moonlight in what should be a bright, inspiring visage, but they lack any sort of depth or beauty, causing the shadows to deepen and obscure foreboding alleyways in front of you. Nothing seems to be coming out as outwardly dangerous or hostile, but there is definitely a sense of just foreboding from standing in the street. And you can see 40 feet from you, the main street gradually sort of rises to what you would assume is a square. And you do see that many of the houses here have darkened windows with rare orange candlelight, which seems to more or less punctuate the fact that there's very little activity here.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be welcoming. It's like, no, there's very few actual beings here. But the only welcoming sight that you do see looks to be a pub up and to the right, following the path up to the square, and door sits open with warm light pouring out into the street.
I would like to not be out here anymore, guys, if that's good with you.
I've never felt buildings loom before. Yeah, let's move.
Yeah, I'm kind of just looking up and around in awe and kind of wonder, and yeah, just follow these guys.
Definitely. It is this moment of just kind of watching. You're watching, expecting something to come out, and nothing does. But you get that weird refractory echo from walking along the cobblestones, and sort of bounces back. Not exactly. You want to make sure that nothing's coming out at you, but it seems to be pretty quiet so far. And you do know that there's the dense forest sort of surrounding the left side of the town, maybe is also muffling a bit of that as well.
Scurry.
The faster we get there, the faster we can rest.
Yeah.
So walking to the inn, you see the sign sort of again seems to be not really well taken care of, but it is called the Kennel. It seems that this. No.
You know,
Write some notes, huh?
Possibly.
as a being of non-human origins, I find that troubling.
Bad connotations. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, but you know, pubs, they got to stand out. The names are never friendly.
It just better be more than a cot in this place, or I'm going to feel very hard done by.
Anything better than a cage, right?
Tell me about it. Okay, I, like, kick my boot on the stairs, clear the mud off, step in.
Step in.
It was
You walk
the
into
kennel. Sorry.
the Kennel. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It is a quiet, unassuming tavern with large wooden pillars and joists running along the high ceilings. You can see that although the ceiling isn't well looked after, there's definitely still, blackened from where there is on the far right, a large fireplace, which is at the moment unlit. And immediately upon entering, you see this main bar area where the purveyor would stand, and you can tell that there is actually strangely, anyone above, so definitely Corax, actually all of you, because you're tall enough, you could see that there's almost behind the bar, it's the floor is raised up behind the bar. From here, immediately, all of you, yes, all of you would see standing at the bar is a middle-aged halfling with sandy brown hair, sallow, pitted skin, and sunken eyes. And just sort of sitting there washing, as inn owners are like to do, just washing a cup until somebody shows up. And also purveying immediately, I believe Corax would definitely kind of pick this out, but you see 4 individuals within the bar itself, sitting among a scattering of about 7 tables.
I'm going to immediately, like, the barman is a barman, that's fine. But I'm interested in what's going on with these 4 other individuals. I just want to check them out with the perception, I guess.
Yeah, give me a perception check for those.
Yeah, just kind of like trying to eye them up and down, seeing like what kind of equipment they have, see if I can, gather what they're about.
In a non-creepy way that birds do.
The non.
Yeah, the sideways looks.
12.
Okay. Well, with that, none of them really seem to be hiding. You do see, sitting at one table are 2 individuals. One looks to be high elven, and as you can see from these extremely long ears, androgynous, sort of ashen-skinned, and severely balding, with just long sort of remnants of hair that looks to be, they're stroking it incessantly while staring off at the unlit fireplace. Beside them is a dark cloaked figure. I can't really tell what they are because they are kind of facing away from you, but they do have the dark cloaks, and fiddling with a cruel looking dagger, like almost like a kris, and really seems to be attempting to pull off tricks, like spinning around their hand. Every time will drop it, go pick it up, and then try again and do something that spins it on the table, or cut themselves, and then, frustratingly pick it up and try it again.
Okay.
At the other table is an old gray-haired gentleman with mussy clothing and a dirty leather apron. A dull orange glassy eye mars his face. He has one arm that he uses to fuss with a shattered metal gauntlet in front of him, muttering to himself. And with him is a small white-haired girl. her large eyes, golden eyes, watching the three individuals as she strokes the older man's one arm. And Sophie, would you like to tell us what they do see?
Yeah. So as you said, Sophie has white, almost silver hair straight down. She looks to be about, hard to place her age, maybe 13 or 14. Really severe angular features and very pale skin with dark under eyes. She's wearing a black leather dress with a white collar and looks like some sort of chainmail plates kind of over top. Plate mail plates over top. And she is stroking the man's arm and has a bowl of stew sort of in front and is slowly scooping it and trying to feed it to him while one eye on the three of you entering.
Hardly seems a place for a child.
Yeah. This does seem like maybe a place that could use our help. Just maybe my help. Maybe more so than yours, Corax. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
I certainly hope not, but I don't get that feeling. Just perhaps we've arrived on a night of ill omens. This does not feel welcoming. Excuse us, barman.
Oh. And you see there's this moment where he just has this immediate reaction, it's like very proprietorial, trying to get things, and he notices you, like, oh, hello, how are you doing this evening?
Tired and road weary.
Aye, yes, that must have been hard travel to get you here.
It's been a while.
Aye, that stands to reason.
Is
do you
everything
need-
okay here altogether? There seems to be, I don't mean to be rude, but was there, I don't know, an accident or death? Or I'm a priest traveling, and if you need the help of someone, you can offer it.
I'm sorry, friends. This is, you've come to a dark place. This is not the town it used to be, if I'm being honest. This is, you are lost. And just sort of looks pleadingly, yet pityingly at you. I'm so sorry that you found your way here, but we've had others come to save us as well. And you see him look out over the other group. I don't think this is I think this might be the end of things.
We've been to many desolate places, and I just give both of my companions here, like, arm on the shoulders. We've helped many people. Do you
And
have
I
rooms?
don't-
I think maybe in the morning with some sun we'll.
Oh, there is no sun here. Oh boy, I'm sorry.
Muted.
Just a bit of a squawk from Corax at that. Like a what?
Yeah. Is it
Pardon.
the mountains or the forests? Or...
No, because of Houdain.
That's
I will say that I think actually everyone except for Sophie can give me a history check.
23.
All right.
15.
Yeah. 3.
Okay. I will say, Morten, there's all of a sudden there's just this sort of twinge of memory, and it's very strange because it's not exactly your purview of research or study, but you do remember hearing way back, I'd say at least a couple hundred years ago, you do remember reading a story about a group of hunters and paladins that had gone searching for some evil being named the Cur, which is Curr. And the name attributed to this being is Houdain. Just crossing over because you got such a high roll. There's just this, you're trying to go back over what exactly was said, and you just keep coming back to dark night. Spelled the Batman way.
Okay. Night, obviously young, dark. I additionally look to the others. A little worried. Kind of like side-eye this guy, like something may be off with him.
I catch that. I just kind of look at the barman. I'm like, excuse us for a moment. Sorry, barman, I did not catch your name.
Oh, I'm James.
James. I am
Yes.
Corax.
Corax, very nice to meet you. And your friends?
Morten.
Morten, very nice.
Yllara.
Oh, very nice to meet you.
Excuse us for just a moment, James. And
I'll be here.
grab the arms around the two and kind of tuck off into a corner as far away as we can from the other two groups.
Yeah, try and take a table.
Yeah.
There's definitely one that's a little bit closer to the spent fireplace. Everyone else seems to be sort of holed up along the other side.
Have we come to a cursed town? I did have a feeling of, looming ill, but I didn't think that we would walk straight into a cursed town. That's possible, isn't it?
No, never seen anything quite as dire feeling as this place.
I mean, objects can be cursed, people can be cursed. I don't see how it would be outside the realm of possibility that a whole town is cursed.
It's terribly sad to hear, if so.
It would explain the dour demeanor of the rest of the patrons.
Definitely look at that other table that it was James, right? The barkeep.
Yeah.
He did seem to say that they, like us, came here to help. Maybe we should learn about that.
Indeed. Should we secure rooms first? Or do you think that we should try to perhaps move on?
Could we make it very far?
It's, Rowan, it's what, the middle of the night?
Yeah, you're approaching 11 almost. Yeah, you're
Okay.
late 11. Yeah.
We're really likely only opening ourselves up to further harassment on the road if we leave at this time.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
ask the barkeep about rooms, and maybe you two, if you'd like,
Hmm.
see if they'll talk to you, and I'll be right back.
Very well. Yllara, if you would.
Yeah, so I think I kind of look over at Sophie and notice that, she's a young girl, I'm a young girl, but she's got something, she looks like she has some information. I'm very curious about why this young girl is here, and so I think I'll approach her and Say, hi there. My name's Yllara. My friends and I are just looking for a place to stay.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. I'm Sophie. Please have a seat. And she motions at the man sitting next to her, who just doesn't really look at you, just kind of has a blank stare. And this is Ford. Ford, these nice people have come to say hi. Did you want to say hi to them?
Oh, the index finger still isn't. Oh, no, I know how this works. It's right, then forward. 3-inch turn. I'm sorry. Just what? Sorry, Sophie.
It's okay, Ford. You keep working on your project.
Okay. All right. Okay. Index finger. 3-inch turn north, and you can hear if you listen to this. He starts kind of repeating the same thing.
I'm sorry about my friend. Please, what brings you? You should not have come here. Why are you here?
Well, we were just traveling along the road and we came into a bit of trouble a while back and we really just need a place to sleep, that's all. Have you been here long? Are you from here?
I am not from here. And I think I have been here a long time. My group and I, and she motions to the other table too, we came here together, much like your group, and there was fog and darkness and fire, and I don't quite remember everything that happened to us. And now I live here every day.
As I'm hearing this, like I'm sort of like stepped back a little bit. I just want to make an insight check if I can. Like I'm just trying to see if that rings of truth. You know, children are sometimes, prone to stories.
Definitely. Give me an insight check.
This is okay. Nat 20, so 23.
Oh. Yeah. You can tell that she is definitely confused, and there does seem to be some sort of mental block. Perhaps you can see it's not her holding back anything for sure. She's being very you can see the ideas basically reach her eyes and then just immediately come out, as she's retelling things. And you do see that, like James, it is tinged with this sort of sadness and maybe pity. I would say that you feel that definitely she thinks that she's telling the truth.
Child, do you have any recollection of how long you've been here?
Do I have any recollection of how long I've been here?
At least a week.
It has been at least 1 week. She looks at Ford. Maybe longer? Maybe less?
And you and the others, you've been unable to leave.
Yes. There is no way to leave Onshire. No way.
And I just kind of like settle back against the wood again, crossing my arms.
And Sophie will take Ylara's hand in hers if she'll let her to. I'm so sorry. Come here.
I'll take her hand and say thank you, and then take a seat down beside her at her table. will also telepathically talk to Ray. Like, this is really weird. This is really, really weird.
Yeah. And you get kind of like the side like bird eye, just a nod. Mm-hmm.
Yllara, I will also say that looking into this young girl's eyes, you immediately get this sense of someone who's seen very dark things. Seems very, as someone who could possibly know what that looks like, you have definitely picked that up.
Yeah, that's something that I think I'll kind of transmit to Corax and maybe Morten as well. Just, something definitely happened here. There's something really deep going on inside these people.
There's sorry, Rowan, when it comes to telepathy like that, am I able to answer? Like, is it two-way?
Oh, true.
I believe Yllara, how does that? You have that as part of your. I don't believe that's a spell. I believe that's something that Yllara can just do.
Is it one way?
Yes.
Can we respond?
It depends on how she's feeling about you at the time.
I guess. I assume if you can broadcast, you can receive. But
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Definitely back and forth.
So you just like hear the mental return from Corax, like, this child has seen terrible things, and this old man is in no position to protect her. And at that, I like sort of like kick forward again. Oh. Child, sorry, Sophie, was it?
Yes.
My name is Corax.
Corax. Hello.
What would you like to drink?
I usually drink milk.
I sort of bow my head, walk off from the table, and go up to the bar.
Which I believe Morten's there.
Yeah, and just with like a sort of reassuring hand on Yllara as I walk away.
I guess at some point, I'm definitely just trying to get James' attention again and see if there's runes.
Yeah, definitely. As Corax and Yllara are doing their thing with Sophie, you come forward and you notice that obviously this is why the place has been built up like this, is to allow him to actually stand more or less eye to eye with his patrons. And he walks in and says, "Yes, sir. What can I do for you?"
Yeah, me and my companions, we were hoping maybe for room or more if you have them.
We do have 2 rooms, I believe. It'd be a silver each for a night, if that pleases you.
Yes, that'll be just fine. And I'll just immediately hand over silver. Definitely not doing any tipping yet. I don't know.
But we do have food and drink if you're so weary. Weary.
Did the previous table, did they eat today?
You can see the master there is currently eating. The one with the long ears doesn't seem to eat very much at all, really. And the dark one has eaten today.
Okay. Maybe we're okay for now. Thank you.
All right. Well, you know where to find me. And he does give you 2 keys for the rooms, and directs you to where they will be upstairs.
Okay, thank you. I'll just turn. I guess see Corax.
Just sort of like
kind of
like
gesture
almost like
keys.
bump into each other.
Yeah.
We should reconvene in a moment. I just sort of like gesture over to Yllara and Sophie. Just in the meantime, just kind of like barkeep. glass of your coldest milk, please.
Oh, yes. Right away. Anything for you, sir?
Another of the same.
2 milk. All right. I'll be right there. And he promptly goes and does return with it, with milk.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Rap on the bar, walk away.
Yeah. Go sit.
Trying to imagine how a bird man carries 2 glasses of milk, but
I'm trying to think, like, how would a bird drink from a glass of milk? You know,
It's
like just
it's just
Ooh,
yeah.
Sounds it.
Right. You see those drinking birds, right? It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Little
I-
milk mustache.
Gosh. I actually just prefer to buzz at a tree. Anyway, yeah,
I'll go sit. If there's room as well, I'll sit with close to Yllara because I don't want to be near the strangers right away.
Definitely, there's it's a little tight, but you know, you can do it without seeming too standoffish.
okay. Approach and just here you are, child.
Thank you. That is very kind. And your friend, I have not made your acquaintance.
I'm Morten.
Ah, I am
And you?
Sophie. This is Ford.
Nice to meet you both. We've just got some rooms here, so if there's anything that you do need from us, we will at least be here till morning. I have services I can do healing if any of you are sick or unwell. If there's anything, I'm available.
Does Morten wear anything on him that like gives this idea that he's some sort of priest or anything of that nature?
Yeah, like he does wear armor, but over it is like this like kind of fancy-ish robe. It's kind of like a dark gray, but there's like a collar that does come up, and it just feels sort of priesty and clerical, and like a man of the cloth type look.
Excellent. I think there might be something you could do to help me. I must put my companions to their beds,
Okay,
and then I would like to talk with you.
Are your
sounds good.
companions also unwell in a similar way as Ford here?
Yes, they're quite unwell. I have not succumbed to whatever it is that... Well, I will explain when I return.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take Ford and Akron and Varian and and I'm gonna take them, like hold their hands and make them make like a little line and follow me, and put them to bed.
I will say that upon saying that to Morten, you just hear a little, "That's right, mustn't tell them. They can't know."
Do we hear that?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly creeped out. I don't.
Yeah, Sophie shivers a little bit upon hearing the voice and gets up, leaves these 3.
Yeah, you do see the young girl sort of take these grown adults upstairs to, and they're she's essentially herding them, just and they without any sort of guided direction, they seem to kind of do their own thing, and then she kind of make sure everyone's cleaned up. Ford has taken this metal, which you see as he lifts it up, like some gears fall out of the metal hand and clatter, and he picks it up, and Sophie helps them. They make their way upstairs. So you have a little while to talk before they come back.
So I have a very quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the milk smell and or taste okay?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping like before Corax even takes a sip, like maybe I put a hand to the cup and just look him in the eye for a second. Just before you sip, I was hoping to Not that this is necessarily going to detect anything from milk, but use Divine Sense to just in a 60-foot cast from me. If there's anything that is celestial, fiend, undead, or affected by the Hallow spell, which I actually don't know what that is. Just as more of a reflexive, I need to check out my surroundings.
Yes. I will say that the milk is super evil. And
Okay.
I knew it.
I knew it.
There's no vitamin A in it. There's no riboflavin.
What kind of milk is this? You do so. Yes, reaching out and touching it, you sense nothing, no creatures, anyways, within the milk. But you get this weird ping back. And sorry, how far do you remember how far?
60 feet.
60
Unless
feet.
the thing is totally in cover from me, it's kind of like I cast invisible light, and does it like a laser? Does it bounce anywhere back to me, kind of thing?
But yeah, so there you don't sense anything untoward near you guys, or at least within probably the adjacent house. But what you do, you get this just feeling of grime, almost. It's just you've reached out and you've poked something, and it's almost as if you've like turned on a light in this dark room, and you've noticed it's just this pervasive feeling of everywhere is affected by some sort of dark aspect here, which is probably something you picked up on a little bit, but this is actually definitive. Like, no, there's something wrong here for sure. That's touching everything.
Yeah, I guess then as Sophie takes her people away, and they're definitely out of earshot, or what I would assume is earshot. I do have 2 keys, 2 rooms. We can sort it out, and I don't know. There is definitely something. It's not just me, right? Like, it's weird.
I don't have the same kind of sense as the two of you have, but there is certainly something wrong here.
I will
I'll
actually
hand Yllara one of the keys just in case. And yeah.
Aaron, I will actually get you to roll a I'd say religion check with advantage given your oath.
Okay. We got a nat 20 on the second roll. Thank you, advantage.
Dear. All right, no
first
more of
one.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of nat 20s so far.
Right? I thought this was casual ones. What's going on?
It's early.
It's
The
early,
ones are
right, yes.
canceled.
Yeah, our lives aren't on the line yet.
Get them all out now. This brings again, as from your oath, you are someone who protects this realm from creatures of other realms or planes, and something that's so pervasive and just interwoven into every aspect of this town immediately pings something in your head, and you look around and it's just darkness and sad and shadow fell, and the Shadowfell, is basically a plane that exists close to the material plane, very much like the Feywild, where the Feywild is just very much beauty, like uncontrolled beauty, and just wilderness that grows untamed and is almost too beautiful to see. The Shadowfell is the exact opposite of that, where everything there is just a dark, blackened mirror of the material plane. So somehow that energy, the energy of that plane, is here and suffusing everything here.
Just kind of like prickle that feeling in general, and just there's definitely dark forces here. I think either we stay because we're needed, or we run.
I really believe that we don't have an option. There's something about what's in that poor little girl's eyes. I believe her when she says that she cannot leave. I slugged the milk back.
I look at how it reacts with it.
There's just a little bit of like a milk mustache on the edge of my beak.
Yeah. Doesn't turn to worms or anything as he's drinking it.
Doesn't seem to be any sort of strange interaction yet.
Yes. I say we hear her out. How do you feel, Yllara?
Yeah, I think if there's anything to save here, we have to try, and there's definitely something to learn here, so I'm here for it. Doesn't sound like we can go anywhere anyway.
Yeah, that is probably a good way of looking at it. Maybe this will be another learning experience, and we can take something from this positively. Maybe.
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 Sophie, I will say that you are all finished up with everyone, if you would like to be at this point.
Yeah, I come back down and sit amongst the group again, and just turn right to Morten. Hello, again. You are a healer and work with the life and afterlife. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. In a manner of speaking, yes.
I am also a healer, but I am not as familiar with the passings on. I'm quite young and haven't experienced as much in that realm. My companions, my friends, as you could see, they're not in a good way. I think they may be ready to go, but they can't. Something happened to them, but not to me. And I can't help them go, but I think they need to. And I can't make them better.
Sophie, what happened to them?
Fire, or is it smoke? I'm not sure.
Were you trapped somewhere?
Yes, at one time I think, but not at the end.
Careful, not too much.
Yeah. You don't you don't hear a voice, do you?
Yours, Sophie.
Just you, child.
Of course. How silly of me. James has more information, I think. I need your help so desperately. They're my family, and they don't deserve this.
Corax just like stands up, like chair back, and just walks away from the table for a moment, and just like proceeds to sort of like pace up, sort of like up or around the other side of the room for a moment at that.
You've upset him.
I am sorry. I am sorry.
I come back. My apologies, Sophie. You did not upset me. It's a call like yours is one I cannot ignore.
And I'm definitely willing to try and help your friends. I feel though you're... Let me just take a look at them. I would like to try and help them not... maybe help them get better, make them feel better.
Yes, if you could, that would be that would be wonderful. Would I know who feels? I mean, I know none of them feel with it, but would I know who might be the closest to saving if that was an option?
That's a good question. Maybe Barian seems the closest. Like his seems to be a lot more physical than mental. So potentially Barian.
Although Ford is my priority, I do believe that Barian, the one with the hood and the dagger, I have tried some restorative spells on him, but nothing quite has taken. You are welcome to.
Yes, could you... I think sooner rather than later, it seems would work. If you would be fine with it to take me to them, I'll take a quick look right now.
Of course, and you all should rest. You do look tired.
And I give Corax the other key, and then Yllara, just like, keep tabs on me mentally if you can.
It's never seen again.
And I gesture for Sophie. Lead me to them.
Yeah, I lead him to Akron and Barian's room.
All right.
Yeah.
You hear, shit. As you knock on the door, and Barian is the one that does open the door, and you see Morten for the first time. This dark elven face. It does seem to be frustrated at the moment, and he's kind of holding his finger and just twirling the dagger in as much as he seems to be able to. At this close range, you do see that his hands seem to be inevitably shaking, like just shaking uncontrollably.
And I'll say, Barian, we have a guest.
Okay.
He's going to take a look at you, all right? So just please sit still, and maybe I could hold the dagger.
I think it's a little too dangerous for you. Just a second. But takes it, and if you persist, you can get it from him.
I will.
Okay. Well, just careful with the pointy end goes towards the bad guys.
Thank you, Barian. You have always been a good teacher.
I really have, haven't I? And he just sort of sits with this. You see he's regarding you, Morten. So this is definitely something that the other two don't seem to have. There just seem to be this wherewithal, but he just doesn't seem to be able to sit still or, and again, sort of just tremors in his hands.
Yeah, I definitely just kind of like get into this welcoming crouch that usually find people react to. Just like put one hand out, and often they reflexively put their hand in mine. And if he does, I'm going to just kind of like reach out towards him and see how he reacts. So with a smile and just, I'm here to potentially heal your harms. It looks like you're bleeding there, so.
It seems to be happening more and more these days. Don't get fresh. And he puts his hand in your hand.
I wouldn't dream. And I put my hands together over his, and I'm going to do lay on hands with 5 HP, because then it can cure a disease or neutralize a poison, and also heal him up, those little cuts. And then I I watch him and see how he reacts.
You do see that pumping this power into him, you do immediately see the cuts on his finger, which are many. There seem to be quite a few. Do heal up in. It's the weirdest thing, because having done this before, you've seen people's skin stitched back together, essentially. This is. You almost watch this sort of shadow bubble up and then smooth over on his hand. It's just seems to have the same effect, but it's just disconcerting to see it happen in this way. That's not really. He seems to be filling with something else and not necessarily like healing himself. But you watch. He does seem to still have the shakes, which would definitely indicate that he was not poisoned, and doesn't seem to be any sort of thing taking effect on his body in that sort of toxin sense.
Yeah. And disease-wise, same thing. I don't feel anything change.
Doesn't seem to be. You would give me an insight check.
17.
All right, with 17, definitely you. Again, having someone who has done this before and knowing what to look for, you're watching to make sure to see if any sort of skin starts to become just more rich in color. And it feels like throwing water into a chasm. It's definitely going somewhere and has had an effect, but it's almost as if it's being pulled away somewhere. So you're filling something that's not necessarily unfillable, but there is something bigger at work here.
I just give him a reassuring smile and a pat on the hand as I let go, and make him try and feel a little bit like things are good. And then I'm going to stand up and look to Sophie. Well, I think he's better for now. Maybe we can visit again tomorrow and see how things are.
Yes, I would like that, and I think Barian would like that as well, wouldn't you, Barian?
He does have soft hands.
I try.
Thank you for being a good patient, and I'll give him his dagger back.
Excellent.
like a sucker.
Yeah. Well, yes, be sure to stop by at any point, but enjoy the rest of your night, and have a good one. He, like, sort of shoving you out of the room.
Yeah.
The door shuts.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Right away.
He hasn't lost his humor, at least.
He seems in good spirits. That's always a good sign. Usually good health follows. See.
Yes, he hasn't always been like that. It isn't really his personality, but it is a personality.
I'm going to start walking back towards where the others are and seeing if you're following with me.
Yeah, I'll follow after.
Okay. Has your other companions changed? Is that getting here?
Well, Akron, you saw. They. Thank you. I forgot. They are something of a beauty, and that was something that was very important to them. However, it's very important to them now as they continue to lose that. And Ford, I always knew Ford would go crazy, always replacing parts of himself with machines. I just didn't expect it to look like this. I think you should talk more with the proprietor. He's tried to explain it to me about this vein, something of that nature, but it never quite sticks.
I think I'll do that, and I think maybe as we start to approach the room where people are, I'm going to try and catch Corax and Ylara's eye. Kind of gesture them towards. I'm going to keep walking towards where James is. To see, gesture them over. Let's go there.
Stand up, walk over.
Yeah.
Oh, anything wrong with the rooms?
I don't believe we've checked them out yet. I was in one a moment ago. It seemed like a room.
They are at that, yeah.
Sophie here was mentioning that maybe you had some information.
James, the travelers they want to help.
I see. Right. Do any of you drink?
Depends on the news.
Been known to imbibe.
He will reach behind and pull out this brackish, dark something. Definitely, like maybe he uses it to peel paint in his other points.
Can I stand on the surface tension?
Yeah. Yes.
Then that's a meal. Okay.
Perfect. 2 in 1.
He definitely pours out a few. Right. Well, this town hasn't always been like this. In fact, when I came here, it was incredibly beautiful, blossoming, really. This was a town where people really got attention, and we even had an incredible church built, and I don't know, it was a nice time then, but one night a evil man came to town and destroyed everything. It was the hardest thing I've seen. I've never seen anything like it myself before, but he came and laid waste to the square and just went in, attacked the church, destroyed the dormitories, went to the farm, Elric's farm, all the way up north there, and just everything was gone. And that was the first year that happened. And he just sort of looks at everybody. We get pulled back here, and it happens again and again and again. He goes to the barn, comes back, attacks the church and the dormitory, and then stands outside that blasted burned bookshop, and then lays waste to everything.
James, help me understand. You mean to imply that he attacks continuously as you and the people here try to rebuild? Or do you mean that the same event happens again and again?
It's the same event. It's the same thing over and over again. He's killed all of us.
You've died, James.
I have. Yes.
And you recall these events?
More or less, they're shadowed memories, but I mean, I remember the burning and the screams mainly, and I know
The burning, yes, I remember.
Is there anyone other than you, James, who knows that this happens?
Oh, I'd reckon other people in the town as well. I mean, no one's really want to talk about it because we all know what's happening. So we just try to live our lives while we can, unless some poor folks happen upon us.
Or folks such as ourselves.
Do you want another drink?
Like, slam it back from the beak. That is swill. I'm sorry, James.
We don't get many deliveries these days.
I will have another.
You should try the stew too. Pours another one.
No, I feel maybe is there anything we could do? Anything? You say this happens. This starts over.
Yes.
How long ago since it last started?
I don't rightly recall. I know it's been some time. Once it happens, I'm sort of like this darkness, and then I wake up, and I know that he'll be here in 4 days.
And you said barn, then the church, then the dorms, and the bookstore, and it's always that order.
It always, yeah.
So we have 1 to 4 days to figure out if this is happening again.
It will happen again, I can assure you. I think that is one thing that we do share is we can feel that he's coming. I think that's part of it. I think he wants us to know.
Oh. Just eyeing you both. Like maybe we need to gesture to the back where the rooms are. Maybe we need to go chat.
Like, slam back the swill once again. It sounds like that. James, I am kind of forced to believe that what you're saying is true, unless this entire inn is full of tricksters playing a joke. But let's say
for some time.
Say for the moment, I believe you. We will stop it.
I hope so.
Are there, and I look at Sophie, there are other children?
Do not. No, I do not
Right.
venture. Oh.
No.
No, please. I do not venture out. Are there other children? James, have you seen?
I see them time to time. I think mainly the parents keep them in their homes. It's not exactly times to walk around. I am sorry, my friends.
No, don't apologize. There's a reason we're here, I think. There's a reason we've been together. There's a reason we've done the things that we've done, and we've never failed before. So I think everything will be just fine.
Are you talking about that divine plan again, Morten?
I think maybe, but that's not important right now.
You're right. You're right.
More. Regardless of divinity, I think we can do good.
That we can. Yllara, you're with us?
I'm with you. I'm really interested to check out that bookstore, though.
Before it burns
James,
down, maybe.
Do you know which way? In the morning, of course.
It is currently burned. I'm sorry.
Currently burned.
Yes, it doesn't come back the way it used to be. But it is up at the square there. If you look at the east side, if you look at the east side of the square,
New cardinal directions are coming into play.
yeah. On the east side of the square, you'll see it. It's hard to miss. Directly opposite the church.
When you say it hasn't come back in the same way, does that apply to everything and everyone in town?
Most people come back. I mean, they come back more or less the same. I mean, I used to be much more handsome than I am now, if I'm being honest. But
Plenty handsome, Shane.
oh, you've already had enough free milk. But yes, there are places that do seem to be a little bit more tethered to darkness, if I can be so melodramatic.
Was the
Okay.
bookshop burned before these 4 days? Does it remain that way because it was already that way?
Oh dang. No. So that happened. It's the strangest thing. That happened during the attack, but it was before Udain even came there. Just set ablaze.
Sorry, and this Houdain,
Hmm.
who is he? Why? What did he have against Onshire? What have the people done to him to deserve his ire?
To be honest, I don't really know. He's a fearsome creature. I'd say probably somewhere high 6 feet, dark, awful plate. But I don't know why he came. Like I'd never heard of him. No one ever talked about him before what he did.
Okay.
I mean, this town used to have a hero, and nothing.
Is there? You perhaps have old archives, historical archives of Onshire that perhaps we could gain some more insight from.
That would probably be the bookstore, so you could give that a try. I'm sorry, but the church might be the next best option. It was a fairly recent addition when I first came here, but it would also be. I know scribes are likely to do their business there.
Very well.
It's a lead.
Something we need to learn who our enemy is if we're to find a way to counteract him.
Someone to take on. His name would definitely not be someone friendly. If this is an imposter or something to that nature.
Oh, do you recognize the name, Morten?
Old myths, some creature hunted by knights and paladins. But definitely not something good to take that name.
Fair enough.
So, you will help?
I put a hand, in the middle of Sophie's back. Yes, Sophie. We will help, and we will do our best. We perish in the process, and we've done our best.
Yes,
And
I think so.
we won't perish in the process, Sophie. We're very good at our job. I just eye Corax.
Yeah, telepathically to Corax, I'm like, don't scare the kid.
I don't believe that's possible any further. Any
She's
longer.
enough. You don't need to push it though.
Maybe
Um,
let's go to the rooms.
I look at the three of you just standing in silence for a few seconds.
Yeah.
I must take my leave for the night. It was excellent to meet you all, and I hope to see you in the morning. Just do a little curtsy and walk off to my room.
Give a nod. Good night.
Thanks so much for your help, Sophie.
Thank you for your help.
Good night.
Just sort of side-eye James for a split second. Like, we should probably check out the rooms. See what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right.
So you guys are sharing, right?
Yep.
Naturally.
And if there's no room, we'll boulder parchment shears for the for the bed.
I was just about to call it too. That's fair.
Flop off. Let's see.
Making your way upstairs, you enter your two rooms. They are pretty much shot for shot the same room. You have sort of this old grayed wood, and that seems to creak without actually even giving way. Just like, oh, great atmosphere. And they do have, each has a single bed, and one of those wash basins as well. And you can see they do each have a window that looks out onto. You can see particularly from Ylara's room, you can see a little bit into the square from her vantage point.
Are you ready?
Let's do it. You promise you're not going to start with shears this time?
Can't promise anything.
One, two.
I don't know how we did this over the
Cheers.
internet.
Ah!
All right.
I get the
Maybe
bed.
I'll saddle up in the tub then.
Yes. Well, I mean, just use your bedroll.
It's a comfortable. I tuck the shield onto one end and I pack it with my pack and my robes go on there, and like it's already looking like halfway a bed instead of just the floor. Got to let the legs hang out, but when you're on the road, you got to make do.
Oh. Good night then, Morten.
Yeah, definitely a night. I guess I remember our rooms close, just like, good night, Yllara. Just yell across.
You have a feeling that she could probably hear you.
Yeah.
I just kind of roll my eyes and double tap the wall beside me.
Nice.
I think I'll probably stare out that window for a good chunk of time. I think I have night sight, dark
I believe
vision.
that's yes,
Ooh.
yes, you would. Actually, would you like to give me a perception check?
Certainly. Maybe.
Maybe.
Mayhap.
So sorry.
No worries.
Oh yeah,
There we
'cause
go.
you got to find all the tabs and everything on there.
Yeah,
forgot
we're
about
good,
that.
we're good.
Got it.
Oh, that's a cool 7.
Ooh.
Sure.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day, and looking out, you can just see. It's I guess it's hard to see the forest for the trees. You just are. You look out over the sort of strange roof patterns, all of which seem to be at some weird different angle, and look into the square and just see just a large open area. But with a 7, you do still see a huge church at the far end of the square. Beyond that, you can't really see much detail about it, but it is significantly bigger than a lot of the buildings around it.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'll probably curl up on my bed, still just kind of keeping an eye out that window, and I think I will cast Find Familiar. So I
Ooh.
pull out some incense and build a little magical fire and stuff some stuff into a cup. And I'm just like, hey, little buddy. And little toad guy pops up in my hand. And together we just curl up and lay down and stare out the window. And I just have my little...
I don't even know him, but I love him.
I need this.
Perfect.
I'm going to wait until Morten is snoring.
Boots
And,
on, still ready to go, but definitely out like a light.
Just make my way out of the room,
Mhm.
downstairs, just kind of nod at James as I make my way outside. Is that all right? Just gonna head out for a moment. I like show him my pipe.
Oh, yes. All right. Thank you. Many thanks, sir.
I just kind of lean up against the outside of the building. Is there a moon out tonight?
There is a moon out tonight. It is a waxing moon.
Okay. I just kind of stuff the tobacco into the pipe and lean up against the wall as I light it. Take a deep inhale, blow the smoke out, looking up at the moon, and absently I'm stroking the burlap sack tied to my waist. Moira, what do we get ourselves into? Just spend some time breathing deep, trying to calm the nerves as I ponder what the hell.
Would you like to give me a perception check just to see what you see?
Since you asked.
Nicely.
14.
14. All right. So again, you are still sort of lower than the square, which does rise up in front of you by this point about like 20 feet away. But with a 14, you also see this giant, huge brick church on the far side of the square. You do also pick out, sort of as you're surveying, a large sort of nondescript building further to the north area. And in the center of the square is just sort of a pile of debris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't make out any details from here, I imagine.
I would say with a 14, you could tell that it does seem to be mainly stone. It doesn't look to be garbage, but it looks to be something that was sort of broken.
Okay. It doesn't, it looks like... Sorry, does it appear as though it's fallen from any of the buildings around, or is it more like it was something that was there that is...
Definitely center of the square doesn't seem to have fallen from any... Like, the square itself is significantly big, considering that this is a town built on the side of a mountain. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not from your best guess at this angle, would not be from any of the buildings.
Okay. Mark that as something to check out tomorrow. And basically finish the pipe, pack it all back in, and head back inside.
The comforting weight of the sack as you turn back in.
A nod to James again as I head back in and back up to sleep.
Excellent. And we all get a long rest. Not that anything happened, but if anything hit. I will also have everyone roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, snap.
Okay,
Do we get the long rest
okay.
first?
This would be during... Yeah, you could have it. You could have it first.
Okay. Just I did use lay on hands pool. That's the only thing.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay, long rest and wisdom saving throw. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Oh no!
Oh
Yllara.
baby, that's a nat 20. What's
All right,
going on
all right.
today?
Like
Alright.
mine was right there. I was like, nope.
I stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stole it. 13.
13. Okay.
And yeah, 25.
Yeah. Yllara is real tired still.
Oh no.
All right.
That's a 6 right there.
6. All right.
And I got a 19.
You got a 19. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, we still got some time. So everyone wakes up from this seems to be very dreamless sleep, which I don't know if that's good for some or potentially a little distracting for others. But you wake up to get ready. Does anyone have any sort of particular morning routine?
There is one thing that Corax does every morning. The rest of him is like dirty and mud worn, but his boots always takes time in the morning to like brush the boots off.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess in a little bit of a similar fashion, then Morten takes a lot of time to make sure that his clothing does have that like official polite appeal. So like everything's got to be in the right spot. The robe over the armor's got to be nice and creased, and the collar's not bent. You know, looking professional.
Walk up and I just get a little bit of the lint off, straighten your shoulders.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
are.
you could do that yourself. You know, you're covered in, what is this, 4 days now of.
You know I don't care how I look, but you seem to take some pride.
I guess one of us needs to. And I tap the wall like Yllara did last night.
Just a little squawk.
Yeah, I wake up, have a little stretch, get changed. I'll cast Mage Armor.
Okay,
Putting a
excellent.
little protective
Ready.
shield around me, just in case, because I'm getting bad vibes. And I'll take Hup, my little toad cat, and just put him on my shoulder. I'm like, let's go, little dude. And then go out in the hallway.
I will say before you do that, though.
Maybe go out toward the hallway.
Towards the hallway.
Toward the hallway.
Sort of in the tumult of getting dressed, you didn't seem to notice, but you reach out for the door handle and you see that your skin is incredibly pale. Like, more so than usual. It's almost this, I don't want to say translucent because that's...
Are you looking for the word alabaster?
Well, you can, I'd say maybe, yeah. It's become so pale that you can actually see in little parts of it, these black veins in your hand. Nothing like, oh my god, but it's definitely a little off-putting. There
Is
is
this
a mirror.
happening to everyone, or this is just happening to me?
That is just you.
Just happening to me. Okay, yeah. I'll kind of notice that as I go to grab the doorknob and just kind of eye my arms up and down, or my hands, I guess. And then, yeah, is there a mirror around?
There definitely is, right by the washing basin. You can kind of like go over and you see your face does...
really can't recommend looking in mirrors. Just can't
Not
recommend
right
it. Not in scary places.
You just don't do that. Come on.
Make a good point.
But you do see your, similar to your hands, your face is very white and just sort of bordering on this translucent. And there are, if you stretch, you can see little black veins crawling up your neck.
Okay, that's cool. Do I notice any pattern, or is it like my actual veins are black now?
It appears to be your actual veins.
Actual veins.
There's no weird. I mean, you start kind of pouring over any sort of any symbology, but anything that you find looks to be just sort of veins. The strange thing is you don't feel any different, like at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll maybe. Is there a tap in here or some sort of bucket with water, wash basin situation? Is there good water in there? Or...
I would say that you know that, or have the inkling, having gone to inns before, that James has probably left out fresh water outside your bedrooms, so you can just sort of like reach and grab it quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that and just kind of splash some water on my face and try to peek up a little bit.
Break some capillaries.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Just one of those little
Yeah.
rosy tap tap. You know, had a bad sleep. Maybe like, what was in that drink last night? Like, there's some. This is a weird place. But maybe I'll still try to head toward the guys to see if they're in a similar shape.
Cool.
Gentlemen.
You all meet downstairs.
I think it's all right. What do you say?
Quite fine. It's wait. I just peck forward.
Okay.
Lee.
I hope not. Dangerously looking around.
You're fine, Morten. Let's go.
Okay. Like definitely grab up everything. Nothing staying in the room. Shield up over the shoulder and everything.
Yeah.
And then go out into the hall.
If I may, I think Sophie would have gotten up incredibly early because she can't really sleep very well here, and gotten her whole crew like cleaned up, changed for the day, like, you know, washed their faces, brushed Akron's hair, brought them all breakfast, and then goes downstairs and gets a coffee for each of these three and places them on the table, and then just sits there and waits for them until they get down, just like completely still, hands folded.
Little supervillain greets you downstairs.
Sophie, my old nemesis. No, I smell coffee.
Yes, I thought we're adults and you might drink this.
It's very thoughtful. I see you left it black. I like my coffee the way I like my feathers.
I hope not muddy.
Shiny.
That's right. And I kind of like ruffle a little bit.
Like dirt visibly comes off.
And it was very thoughtful of you. And it's, again, you'll notice it's like a slam back of all drinks.
Can't really see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Painful.
Birds don't feel heat. It's fine.
That is a well-known bird
that a
fact.
thing?
That's just science.
Well, birds actually don't process capsaicin, as an example.
I didn't know
It's
that.
true. And maybe their mouths don't get wet. Maybe they can
That's
choke
what I'm
up.
thinking. Yeah, maybe. That's
Some spicy
my
coffee.
headcanon.
We're all learning.
Yeah, I'll sit down with Sophie and maybe grab the coffee, try to warm up my hands a little, give it a sniff, and have a sip, and then just sort of rub my hands together. Just kind of.
Are you doing anything to hide what's going on?
No, I think like sorry, I should have said I typically wear a hood and gloves, so
Okay.
my face, I suppose, is still visible, but the rest of me is probably out there other than my little fingy tips.
With my passive perception, would I notice that?
What is your passive perception?
16.
16. You would know. I would say that you could definitely tell that if at any point she brings down her hood, I would say you'd notice something. But at the moment, her it just seems like she's gotten a rough. She's definitely looking a little pale.
You sleep well last night, Yllara?
Definitely not. The looming church out my window was haunting me a bit. Kind of kept me up for quite a while.
Must have felt like a stranger standing at the window, I imagine.
It had that sort of vibe to it. Yeah, I'd think it might be something we should aim to check out later, for sure.
Yeah, I think if you two and Sophie, if you wouldn't be against, I don't know if you need to stay with your friends, but maybe I was hoping you could show us a little bit around the town. Maybe show us. I know James said that the bookstore or whatever was burnt, but I think, looking to Yllara, I think we would like to look at that. And I wouldn't mind stopping by the church, get to know folks around.
Yes, I would be very keen to help. An honor.
If you
yeah.
are all
Miss
willing.
Yllara, is that
Yeah.
an animal you have there?
Yeah, do you like toads? He's
I
pretty
do.
nice.
Very much.
Would
May
you
I
like-
look at him?
Yeah, of course. His name is Hup.
Oh,
Fantastic.
He's a little slimy. And I
Sophie
kind of like
shakes
lean
his
my
little hand.
shoulder in.
Nice.
I
kinda-
very much like animals.
Yeah, he's my little pal. I like animals too. Do you have a pet?
No, Ford says I am not allowed one. It's a big responsibility.
It is. It definitely is. I kind of like look at the two of you and note that you guys just look normal and good and fine. So I keep my hood up and just kind of just figure I had a rough night. I need to warm up and get going.
Yes, we should venture out.
Look at
To
this place.
Church,
excellent.
Or
the square in general.
The square.
All right.
Wow.
So you head out. Yeah, you turn right outside of the kennel and head towards the square, which is this. As you sort of broach onto the square, you see is this huge area, just sort of open area with buildings all around it, homes, and notably you have that sort of nondescript building that Corax had noticed last night. It's a large building with just really there's not really much to it on the front side. You do notice that a door is just sort of listlessly hanging open to the front. And there is the church to the west, which does take up quite a bit of the aspect of the town. And immediately to again, as you're kind of keeping an eye out for it as you're going into the square, to the right is this burnt down building. You can just see sort of like struts sticking up and just sort of blackened wood hanging there. And there are a few people here. Again, I will actually, I should note, it is still dark. It is basically twilight.
Identically dark to the night before.
It's a little bit lighter, but it's more like twilight. Like it's darkening.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually just see, like, as we step out and see that like my neck feathers just begin to like ruffle and puff. This place just gives me the shivers.
There are a few people about in the square. You see like a few sort of like a small market, but again, it looks very sad. And in the center, Corax, your eye is following that just appears to be a large stack of rubble within a hexagonal piece, which you probably assume is some sort of stand from this distance, but it's about like 20 feet away from you.
Okay. Is it like seeming like more of like a pedestal kind of thing?
It looks to be there is a pedestal, and then there's sort of this element further on beyond that. So probably a pond or something, maybe wishing.
Okay.
Really?
Sure.
Wishing element.
Yeah. I'll sort of stride ahead by virtue of being the tallest and longest, and sort of walk over and just approach that pile of debris to try and gain some insight into it.
Awesome. Immediately, what you see is what looks to be marble. Looks to be the remains of a large statue. Like, you can just see this immediately. Right on the top of the podium, which is about 5 feet up, are the remains of like 2 plated feet. Sort of stands among the rubble. In the center of this sort of old wishing pond element, and there are stone pieces all around it. The water is like stagnant and fetid. But I will, if you are interested in looking around a little bit more, I will get you to give me an investigation check.
Oh, hey, I will absolutely do that.
You can do it, I believe.
Yeah, I can. I definitely believe in myself here. With my 13.
Okay. Well, with a 13, not awful. You do find half of a broken plaque.
Okay.
Which it seems to be the right side of whatever was here. And you see lowercase O-N and Elric after that. And then right below, you see the remnants of the last word is right, R-I-G-H-T, lowercase, and then capital wolf.
Okay. Now it was half of a nameplate. Okay.
Yes.
Or half of a plate, I suppose. Are the rest of you sort of approaching as I'm?
Yeah, I think so. And seeing Corax looking at this, can I look around to see if I can find like another half of this anymore?
I will say that if you can give me, I'd say this is probably going to be the last investigation check, but you could give me an investigation check as well.
I'm not very good at this, so that was probably stupid, but whatever.
No.
Okay, 15.
15. All right. So I will say that you do not find the other half of that nameplate, but one piece that does stand out to you as quite interesting is you see in the debris this marble, not a relief, but this marble statue, and it's a stone sword guard. So it looks like what would have been the guard of a sword handle that's carved to look like a wolf. It's 2 wolfen or lupine heads.
Okay. Are they like the hilt of the sword, or?
Yes, yeah. So basically, there's sort of what
You're
she
talking
has
about
is
like
sort of
a cross guard?
the cross guard. Yes, that's what I'm looking
Okay.
for.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, perhaps in our investigation of the lore of this town, we can look for some reference to this wolf man.
An Elric. Sorry, was that E-L-R-I-K?
R-I-C.
R-I-C,
But-
thank you.
Similar. Yeah.
I mean,
It's the
yeah.
same.
I didn't know there was a mention of Elric's farm, I believe. So maybe there is something
Yes.
worth seeing there.
That's right. What did James mention? He mentioned the farm, that was Elric's farm, the church, the bookstore, and one other place.
And then the dorms before the bookstore,
Yes.
the dormitory.
And all of those places are here in the square other than the farm, is that correct?
Yes, you can see a winding sort of basically goes church and then dormitory. So from where you're standing, the church is to the left of you, sort of out to where the forest is. Right ahead of you is what looks like a big building and is probably the dormitory, without giving too much away. Then beyond that, there is, following along the edge of the mountain, there does seem to be a path that is not cobblestone and just earth that sort of heads off into the woods. And then to your right is the burnt down building.
Okay. Yllara, you did mention the bookstore. I know there's not much left. What would you like? Maybe we start there.
Yeah, I think if Sophie is that probably our closest destination. I guess we're all pretty close to everything here.
Yes, I think that would be a smart place to begin. Knowledge is always a smart place to begin.
Yeah, I think if there's any history to be known about this place, maybe we start there, and then if nothing comes up, maybe check out the church like James said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll
Nice.
start heading over that way.
Yeah, drop the
Yeah.
plaque. Like, just sort of toss it back.
Into the nasty water or whatever.
Not just back on the pile for now.
Okay.
You do see the people sort of look at you. It doesn't seem to be any sort of no retribution in their eyes, but they're definitely kind of keeping an eye on you.
Sure,
on
and
y'all.
actually, as I like look over the townsfolk, do I see anybody who's like sort of giving like furtive glances or like looks particularly worried about our presence?
I would say actually give me an insight check.
Insight, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a neat trick. I'm going to use Kenku Mastery, which allows me to gain proficiency in insight, adding my proficiency bonus to this, giving me a +6 instead of my +3.
Not bad.
Kenkus.
His bird eyes just zoom in on their
Bird
faces and hands.
So that'll be a 21.
21. All right. With a 21, you see no one seems to be avoiding you. I mean, they do avoid your looks when you kind of look back at them. None of that is really out of the realm for just townfolk from your experience. I mean, odds are they might not have even ever seen a Kenku. But with a 21, you do notice that it's not really the three of you that they're looking at the most. They seem to be watching Sophie. No ill intent from what you can see, but they're definitely like noticing her and looking at you guys and then noticing her again and kind of like watching.
Okay. I walk close to Sophie for most of the time that we're walking.
All right. So you approach the burnt husk of a building, two sidewalls seemingly held aloft by falling crossbeams and the rest of the debris. Looking out, you can already feel the looming presence of the church, even though it's some 50 feet behind you. You can feel this aspect. You can feel wind coming from the path to your left, leading up to the barn. You steel yourselves as you approach what was the bookshop. I think we'll probably leave it there before we get into anything else.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Creepy.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
dying, right?
I can't tell you
Immediately
that.
Just slowly.
Yeah. Immediately, slowly.
Oh my goodness.
That's what you get for sleeping on a toad.
Yes.
Oh no,
I think
is the
that's my
toad
favorite.
okay? Very important role.
Oh.
That's very
Cuddle.
important.
I love him.
I roll, he leaps. I roll, he leaps. It's a
I'm
good-
gonna be honest, like
good-
the 9-year-old Ray very much wants to cuddle with a toad. So
Yes.
Yes.
A comfy, friendly little toad named Hup. My goodness.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like,
word.
yeah, I gotta write that down.
Oh yeah,
Hup.
I love it.
A good name.
Can't wait to see the character art for Hup.
Mhm.
We're eh?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. We'll see what more sleeps and secrets that Onshire has for you guys. I want to thank you all for watching as well. We have quite a few things that are coming up, just on our docket. We have Punch Drunk Champions on Thursdays, 7:30. So be sure to tune in for that. We also have a new show, which is the Casual Morning Show, which is on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Which is a great new thing just to talk about like, good things that are happening in the world, and it's just a very pleasant way to start a Saturday. So definitely give that a check out. Beyond that, is there anything else that we want to share?
You and I will be on that show on Saturday.
Right. Oh yeah, waking up morning, early morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that shift off this week.
Yeah.
You guys seemed wide awake. It was fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. I think the only
Just
other thing
mainline some
is,
caffeine.
yeah. Yeah, for a weekend, geez. Yeah, the only other thing I guess is like at the end of the month we still got our new Cyberpunk campaign, as that's pretty new. We
Yes.
did one episode, and yeah,
Definitely
I'm
tune
gonna
in
look
for
out for
that.
that. We may have the VOD up on YouTube eventually.
That will be the Monday before we broadcast the next episode, I believe, is when we'll do that. But we will have a lot of notifications going out.
Yeah, and VODs below to click on the videos. We got stuff there.
Yeah.
Those things.
And join Discord and follow socials to be
100%.
notified of all of
Like and
our upcoming
subscribe.
Oh,
shows.
yeah.
This is true because
Like and subscribe.
yeah, we actually have a few fun things lined up that we'll probably be sharing there more. That are little secret side projects that aren't full on streams, but some little things on the side that are coming up. That'll be very fun.
Awesome.
A little winky blinky.
Yes.
But I think that's it for this evening. And thank you all, and I hope you have a great evening. And see you later.
See you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.